really bad. Flame Scar makes the damage a little better, but you're still standing still, channeling Incinerate, so this build is also complete garbage. Now, there's other things that I didn't really experiment with, such as Conjuration Heavy or Hydra build, Frozen Orb, and a few other niche tweaks here and there, but ultimately I've spent well over 100 million gold. In fact, I did some rough math and it came out to around 150 million gold spent on these specs. So at this point, I just want to enjoy my Ice Shard Blizzard Hybrid and chill until Season 1. Now that I've spent some time describing all of the different builds, let's get into a tier list where I'm going to directly compare the Sorc builds. Keep in mind, I'm comparing them to other Sorc builds, not different classes. Therefore, it doesn't matter if Druid or Rogue is better at X or Y. This is just which Sorc build is better than which other Sorc build. Second of all, I'm primarily looking at how well-rounded the build is. And while this is an endgame perspective, if a build's good early, that might bump it up just a bit. I'm primarily targeting performance in Hell Tides, Nightmare Dungeons between 50 and 60 in terms of pushing, and then 30 to 40 in terms of speed. Finally, like many other tier lists, at the end of the day, this is somewhat subjective. I am going to be modifying the build's ranks based on how it felt to me. So a build could be perfectly fine and someone else is totally okay with playing it, but it felt bad to me, therefore I'm lowering its rank. So without further ado, let's get into that tier list. So here I have my Scuffed tier list from before, which at this point is tradition, so why change it? And I've got all the different builds in a big old list. Let's go through them and see where each lands according to my criteria, along with giving a little bit in terms of my thought process on why. First up, Arc Flash. It goes in B tier. It's a really well-rounded build. It's easy to play, has great defenses, and isn't quite the fastest. Because of this, I think it loses out just a little bit in terms of going into A tier. If you're grinding to 100, this is going to feel noticeably slower than the options in A tier and above. However, if you're not yet at that point, it feels really, really good, and it works on nothing. If anything, I'd almost rate this as a B+, because it is a really solid build and absolutely the thing I'd recommend to a beginner. Next up, a controversial one, Firewall, that I'm putting in D tier. I did not enjoy playing this build. I didn't enjoy using Fists of Fate on this build. I didn't enjoy that this build has way less crowd control or damage precision than anything else that I played. Which I know is probably a hot take, because a lot of people like it. I didn't. Felt like it was worse than every other build that I'm going to be putting in C, B, or A in many ways, with its only